Y'all know what it is, the real two-tet, all praise to God for everything. I mean, every single thing. I'm here with my brother Marathon Manny, and we have a special guest with us tonight. He goes by the name of Damon, a.k.a. Matter of Time. So before we start the interview, we always do a mental health check-in. How you doing, brother?
Well, I'm grateful today.
Yes, sir.
And I overcame all obstacles.
Yes, sir.
And I'm here. I'm blessed to be here.
Yes, sir.
That's where I'm at.
Yes, sir. How about yourself, Manny?
One word. Resilience. Resilience. No matter what you're going through, you gotta keep that resilience in your heart, man.
For sure. I'm gonna switch it up today. You know what I'm saying? Look, I gotta switch it up. Listen. God is good, man. God is great, actually, man. No matter what I go through, I always get through it. So you got another 24 hours on that clock. There's no use to complain, man.
Make it happen.
I'm telling you, make it happen, Cap. So, Damon, take us back to the beginning, man. So, would you say you grew up in the 70s, the 80s?
The 70s.
Okay.
The 70s.
How was life for you back then, man? Did you grow up in a house with two parents? How was that?
Well, I was in the house with two parents,
Yeah.
my mother and father.
Yes, sir.
Northwest DC.
Yes, sir.
Participated in sports. We had great family atmosphere. You was doing the 70s with the reading and educating and motivating, those type of things. It was a lot of programs. So I participated in the Police Boys and Girls Club, played sports. Sports was my avenue to meet other people in different neighborhoods in Northwest.
Yes, sir.
I eventually then got away from my neighborhood. My neighborhood school, Ben Cardozo. But I had a cousin, and I'm gonna wrap it up on that. Growing up, fell out the back of a van, right? And he was in a coma for 30 days. And when he recovered back in those days, this was 1977, my 10th grade year, they put him in a cast. His arms was out and his face was out. And he went to Wilson. My father said, "You going up to Wilson with him?" So that's how and why I attended Wilson with everybody. Like, what you doing up there? I had to go up here with my cousin.
Wilson, Woodrow Wilson. That's how I was modeled right there.
I ran tag on my house.
Up at the drill, you know they changed the name.
Yeah, I'm
now.
telling you, man.
It was
Jackson Reed.
Jackson
Come
Reed.
on, man.
It's understandable though, but I know, like, you know.
But we still Wilson to me, man.
I mean, yeah, like we just don't have the same meaning as what it was really
Jackson
named.
Reed.
You know what I'm saying? Like the history behind who that person is.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna get into too much of
Yeah,
that.
for sure. So talk about your mom and your dad, man. Like how important were they in your life, man?
Well, my father was a monthly point Marine. I was one of the first all-black Marines that fought in World War II. My father was a plasterer. So my father always worked two jobs. He worked at Walter Reed Security, and then he was plastering. Then he became an instructor down in Lorton with the plastering. Right? My mother worked at St. Elizabeth Hospital, right? And I was their only child. And I was the only child on my block. Intentionally, yeah. We all, they all, it was like I had brothers and sisters,
sure.
right? So they was there, they encouraged me, motivated me. My father pushed me more into, sports and to be proud and make choices. And then my mother just was like, be a leader, learn, encourage me, you know what I'm saying? So when I became a teenage father, right, they still supported me with, doing that situation, right? So, and it helped me be more responsible and to consider my actions going to impact my kids' actions.
No question.
You see what I'm saying? So that was a big thing for me at 19 going on 20. We're 18 and 19, yeah, but to have that in the back of my mind, something my father told me, right? He said, man, now your actions not just impact you, it's going to impact your children. And for some reason, that stuck to me. Now, I made some mistakes, and I'll just leave it there. I made some mistakes there.
Let me ask you, I was a teen parent myself, man. How old were you when you had a child?
I was 18 years old.
Okay, so
all right. So, but my situation, I went to Virginia State University, right?
Okay.
I was running track, but that's a whole nother story. But 18 years old, went to Virginia State, came back home that summer, right? Went back to school, then found out, man, at 19, you getting ready to have child number 2.
Sheesh. He wastes no time.
So I had to make a decision.
Yes,
so
sir.
1982, I made a decision. It was between, I was gonna come back to DC and, work a job, hustle, or do whatever, or go in the military, right? So I started thinking about it now. This what was blessing with my father was that he gave me words of wisdom, right? He told me, one, you still need to finish school.
No question.
Right? That's what he told me. This is 70, 82, right?
Yeah.
Finish school. That's what all our people was about.
For sure. School.
Education,
For sure.
right?
All
so,
day.
okay. So I chose the military, and where I was going to go regular army, my father told me, which recruiter didn't tell me, that you could do Army Reserve and do split options. And I could stay in school, right? So they didn't tell me that. I'm down in Richmond, Virginia, because I was at Virginia State, and that's where they took me down in Richmond.
Yeah.
So I told the recruiter that next morning, yeah, I got to change my paperwork. Yeah, you ain't tell me about that. They signed me up. They signed me up. So in 82, I went to Fort Knox, Kentucky for basic training. And then I came back in 1983 and I did my AIT at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. And I stayed in the Army Reserve a total of 24 years. Right? I was a drill sergeant for 9 years. I was a classroom instructor for 4. And infantry, supply, and admin, right? And when I was due to get out, they had what you call the stop loss. So 2005, I was retiring, right? But it was in November. January 2005, my division, the 80th Division, we got mobilized, which means can't nobody get out. What they call the stop loss, right? And I happen to be a stop loss guy, right? So I'm like, wow, okay. So that's that part. But 18, 19, I made mistakes, had fun. When I went in the military, that gave me a balance between what I do in the street and what I knew other responsibilities I had to do. Right? And then I was blessed because I would listen. I had a lot of good men in the community that used to say encouraging words to me. Right? You know what I'm saying? So like when I came back home that next semester, so I transferred to Virginia State, went to Howard University. Right? The same school that denied me. They was recruiting me.
He's impressive.
They recruited me to play football, but they said I couldn't get in because of my grades or test scores. Right?
Okay.
But 2 years later, they signed me up. When the track coach, Coach Moultrie, my father, D's Delicatessen on George Avenue, Harvard, for the old school, with D's Delicatessen, Thrifty was across the street. Mr. D's, when I came back from basic training at Fort Knox, Kentucky, I'm walking down George Avenue. Mr. D's always kept that door open, anybody know. I crossed the street because I knew I didn't want to talk to him. Y'all know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't want to talk to him. I got some other shit I'm trying to do. I ain't trying to talk to him. Man out the store, he saw me, hey, Damon. I'm from South Carolina, man. He came over there. He said, man, you came home. I know you start work tomorrow. I'm like, hold on, what you mean I start work tomorrow? He said, you start work tomorrow. Me and your father are talking about. That's the thing. I ain't talking to me about this.
Talking the wrong day.
So I'm looking at him. I'm like, yeah, all right. I went home, man. That's my father, man. Coming off basic training now. I'm looking at him a little different now. I ain't gonna make a decision without talking to me.
For sure.
He said, man, you gotta have some money and guess what? Years later on, when I realized, you know what they did? I ain't make a whole lot of money. I was washing dishes, stocking liquor, right? And then he let me study. I wasn't making a whole lot of money, but you know what they did? They stopped me from hustling. Because I had some money.
Yeah, no question. Yeah, no question.
And I was able to do what I needed to do, little things that I needed to do for my kids.
No question.
So it wasn't all on me, right? They helped, but I'm saying, they was like, you going to be functioning and do, you know.
Yeah.
So I was blessed in that aspect, man. I was blessed in that aspect.
So let's talk about the whole experience of the Army, man, because you know people go to the Army, they leave with PTSD. Let me ask you, did you experience any of that?
Yeah, I'm 100% disabled PTSD.
Yeah. Look at it. Yeah. Y'all got scared.
4th of July just passed by. How does it be for you?
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually just coming back up, man. I don't like the 4th of July.
Yeah, because of all the fireworks.
I happen to be in a situation, Taji, we was in Taji, Iraq, and they were, the United States bombing. They put like a Goodyear blimp. When that blimp come up there, they
Strap.
They strapped all, they zeroing in on everything where they going, and then they fired them joints over there. And excuse me, when they hit, they was hitting at night. They did it 2 nights. And this was before they put a push to run up in that earth. They just bombed the shit out of them for 2 days, right? And I've got a little better, but I don't like hearing the boom, boom, boom. I don't like that. So that put me downstairs, air conditioner on, I wash clothes, and turn the TV on.
Nah, that shit real.
Sure, nah.
It's like, I might not have it as, you know, I ain't go through what you went through, so I ain't gonna sit here and act like I know what you feeling, but like, you know, for me, like, it's the bangs, you know what I'm saying, from gunshots and shit like that. It's like, I be sometimes like jumping, I be like, oh, fuck. Like, you know, that shit ain't.
You know it, man. Hey, we all experience that coming up in the
next
neighborhood. Yeah, we all experience it, man.
There's one myth about the PTSD thing, right? It ain't just to the military, and it ain't just for rape. See, as time went on, you know what I found out? I was already preconditioned PTSD.
Facts.
Right? I got shot at before I went down rap.
Hey, you know how many dudes in the streets got that shit? Don't even
That's
realize.
what I'm saying. They call it paranoia, man. You just always looking over your shoulder. That's PTSD.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Hey, look, I want to talk about this, man. Your book I read, you spent some time in prison, man. You know, if you care to talk about that, let the people know why you was incarcerated.
Okay. So, I'm going to give you something before, then I'm gonna get right to it.
All right, let's go.
So now, my professional career started. I ended up graduating, got my master's at Howard, 88. My first job was down Shiloh Baptist Church.
Shout out.
Male mentoring program, right? Worked down there for a year, then I got in district government, did 1 year in-home support, then after that, that's when my whole career, where I wanted to go, where I think, as I look back now, where my talents was, that's where I went. I went to youth services. All right, so I was social work and youth services. All right, so in my time when I was there, you had OKF, CNO, you had receiving on. This is 1990. All right when, you know what was kicking off in the city, right?
Yep.
Now, I work with a lot of young men. Started even when I was in college, I worked at a group home, DuPont 2 group home. Matter of fact, when I graduated undergrad, I went there. So now, I gave you that little background piece. I went to school, I got a job, I worked in the community. All right. Also, when I came back home from college, Ed Hill, Huck, and another guy, Barry, at Raymond Playground, I was walking through, and they say, man, you need to come out here and coach. Right? And I'm looking I'm telling Huck, like, all right, but LeBarry, Vietnam veteran, he older than me. LeBarry say, hey man, what's your commitment to the kids? Right? This like 80 or 83, about 83, 84. And it seemed like when he said that, I looked at him, I was still on my little military stuff, and he said commitment. I was like, commitment. Shit, I got commitment. You know what I'm saying?
Took offense to that. Like,
Yeah,
what you
I
talking
got
about?
commitment, man. I'll come back out here and give out. And that's how I started coaching.
Right.
Right? Okay.
That's
So
right.
I coached football and basketball.
Yep.
Right? Football and basketball. Me, Mitch Crater. I'm gonna shout out to my man, Coach Dan number 10 together.
Yep, for sure.
Right?
Facts.
Yeah,
Yeah, facts.
okay.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
So now my team, I coached, I did that. Then eventually, I'm gonna fast forward on up. As I was still working, I started a male mentoring program from Edgewood Management for their properties. They thought to have a program to reduce some of the kids.
Get jumping to the streets.
Right.
Yeah.
And it, Saratoga was Brooklyn,
Brookwood, all that.
Douglas Apartments over there in Southeast off of Cedar, Central Garden. So I had all these, I had all these youngsters, right?
We're gonna keep all that in there. It's the real.
I had all these youngsters in van, and we bust out. We went to the gyms, and I ain't never had no. I'm turning my thing off. I ain't never had no problem. So I met a whole lot of kids in my journey. So then I started coaching high school basketball. Doc Robinson, Lincoln, UDC, coach, recreation man, knew me since when I was young. When I'm working up Brentwood, half of the guys that was playing with me ended up playing was on the team,
for
right?
sure.
And I would make sure, but we was playing up number 10 in some of these. So he was like, man, they got to get in Jelliff. And I was like, they can go to Jelliff. I got enough kids, they ain't got to play.
For sure.
But all the ones that can play say, nah, Mr. Robinson, we going up number 10, play with you. Then we going to go down there. You going to give us a ride? I said, all right, I give you a ride. After that sequence, they won up here, took them down in Georgetown. They won down there. Doc looked at me, right? He said, oh, okay, yeah, they can play up there if you want to make sure they get down there. Okay, so we go on. Man, school starts, season starts. Now I'm a social worker, special education now in DC Public Schools. So eventually I lead there. He see me, man. He say, you part of the staff. I said, I ain't part of no staff. What you talking about, man? It's me story of my life. He got me. He said, nah, man, you gonna coach. He say, these boys know you, they respect you, man. He said, and I know you when you was young, you part of the staff. You part of us. And that's how I started coaching high school basketball.
Right.
Man, I done coached the little league and all that stuff, man. So now I did all that. I told you about the stop laws.
Yep.
Okay. I go to Iraq. And of course, I ain't really want to go. It's a lot of politics. You ask me about military, we won't come back. Because it's a lot of tricky shit. We get some information out on that.
Sure.
But
Okay, let's get it.
okay, so now I go to Iraq. I come back. I won the same. Okay.
For sure.
I had it. And when I came back, here go the difference between regular army and the reserve and National Guard. When I came back, I came right back home. When they come back, they get to decompress and they around other soldiers and you around other people that kind of know what you've been through and what's going on with you, right?
It's like a transition for them.
Exactly. Wasn't no transition for me. When I dropped back down here, I was still Mr. Roberts. My wife wanted this. My kids was going through what they was going through and all like that. So during that time, and it was a 4-year journey of some serious heartache. I've been drinking since I was 12 years old. Okay, alcohol, beer. All right, but now I took it to a new heights. Right, I was drinking easy a pint a day. That's trying to walk a block, and I still was getting up, going to work and functioning and all like that. But where I wasn't functioning at was in the inside.
Right.
Was the song "Smile on Your Face"?
Yeah.
Nah, not the backstabber, but
sure.
the smile as a frown turned upside down sometimes, man. And that's what I was doing. And so as I'm going through this, I tried different things, what to do. So now one thing that really impacted me when I came home, man, I had 2 of my former basketball players. I wasn't even home good. They got murdered. Okay? The Barry, who I tell you about, and my only boy cousin on my mother's side, right? Both of them died of cancer, right? So now my street world got crushed watching these youngsters. And then my cousin in the Barry went down. The Barry, I was able to share how I feel a little bit, him and my father. Okay, so now I work down number 10 Boys and Girls Club. I ran the teen center, right? We started a go-go band, highly respected. Yeah, and we had shows, ain't had no problems. We did it during the daytime. So now I did that to recreate my Iraq work time. Meaning I worked at Cadoza at that time. I did Cadoza, walked down number 10. Man, you know, I got something to talk about if you got something to listen about. You know, I'm telling jokes, be playing games. I mean, you know, I'm all right.
But inside you feel a different way.
Yeah, but it made me feel better. But that's what I'm saying. Drama down there. When I get down there, one of the young men, they had to shoot, man, and people got hurt, man. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm coming back home, I'm watching the violence in my community, which been going on for years, and I worked professionally in the 90s, but it was hitting me a different kind of way from where I came from over there. And I'm like, man, this violence is mean. You know, it's worldwide, and it's a lot of wicked spirits and shit going on with it, right? So that's my mind started going, and then as time was going on, man, I couldn't really go out too much because I'm probably gonna end up cussing somebody out.
For sure.
See, when I went to Iraq, when they sent me, I was the first sergeant. Everybody know about the military? Hey man, and I don't never was a soldier that when I had authority, I wanted my style. I wanted to live and learn. But if you want to bullshit, oh man, I can smoke your boots, man. They want me to go there for Jackson business. Where you bring him down here? Running, okay. So all these things was going on, right? So check it out, man. I thought, man, let me go apply for a loan, personal loan, give me some money, and that would solve some problems. I can do some honeydews for the wife. I can go have some fun, and I can do something with my little grandkids, right? I go in the bank, put the junk down. They told me, man, deny it. I said, man, but how did you deny me, right? And now I'm on my military shit because I bank with Andrews for the credit union, right? I'm like, man, how did you deny me? Okay? So they tell me, oh man, because of this Sprint bill. I had a phone that I asked my ex to turn off. Apparently they turned it off, but the meter was running, talking about the turn. So when I came back home, I was like, man, I'm not paying that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not paying.
I told you to turn off.
Okay. So when the bank told me that, they said, well, get this straight and come on back. All right, so finally I got it straight. Now mind you, I've been on 4 years. It took me 4 years for me to get this phone call straight. Or because when I go in the store, a trigger that I had, I go in the store, a whole lot of them was Arab from the Middle East. That was a trigger for me, man. I'm sitting there looking at them.
I ain't even think of that.
That was a trigger for me, man.
Everywhere.
That was a trigger for me. So, and I did a lot of training and communicating with the Iraqi army, right? So I got frustrating moments and shit like that. So I'm looking at him, man. I'm like, man, I could never finish. I'm cussing their ass out, but I never got done what I needed to get done. So I'm acting the fool, actually. So now, I'm doing all this. I come back, I finally get it straight. Guess what the bank say? Well, we ain't gonna give you a personal loan. Why don't you get a home equity loan? I said, I ain't asked for a home equity loan. So that's how I left the bank, right? Puzzled and mad. Father gets sick, going to nursing home. He went in the nursing home. It wasn't looking good, right? My car got snatched. I had 7 months to pay the car. The truck got snatched. You know why I got snatched? Again, I was late, but I couldn't. I called to tell him I was late. I ended up cussing the lady out. I had 7 months. 7 months. 7 months.
7 months left.
7 months left. So I really wasn't tripping because when I got paid, right, I got paid 2 months. Thinking, I was like, man, I'll get you.
Yeah, for sure. I'll
get you. I'm gonna get you. Man, they took my car, and when they took my car, the money that they was asking for at that time, I didn't have. In my pride, I didn't want to ask nobody for it, right? And I got mad with my ex because I was like, I should be able to wrestle this up, and it didn't. So I was mad. So that put me down in one car. I had to take her to work, come back home, or whatever, and then go to work myself, and go see my father, get my mother, go see my father in the nursing home. Yeah. Right? I'm coming back, dropping her off back to DC. I got caught in traffic, man. And that was to be another trigger, because you run convoys, can't sit too long.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. RPG coming down the pike road, they got an ID on the side, so you got to keep it moving, right? So that was getting me still. But then it was like everything came down. I was like, damn, man, all that shit you did, this and that, you can't even get your damn car back. You can't conduct business. You fucked up.
Yeah. It's like self-sabotage thoughts.
Man, yeah. And I'm sitting in the car, right? I'm mad as shit, right? Man, I'm crying and everything, man. Dude, people are fucking looking at it. Motherfuckers. You know, and then it went in my mind. I said, and the motherfucking banks. Them goddamn banks didn't do that. As I ride the world, I'm thinking in my mind, I know what I can do.
Next,
I said, I know what I can do, right? So I took all that what I was telling you, and I'm a little fast forwarding a little bit, all this in the book, Matter of Time, Continue to March.
Go get that.
But when I went and planned and to rob the bank, my only decision I had to make was, do I take the gun with me, or do I leave the gun? Still was gonna pass the note, right? Because guess what? I'm still thinking, even my sick mind. Guess what? Their job is for them to give me the money. They're supposed to give it to me.
Right.
They supposed to. Man, so I went in and I executed, and I did it 7 times, right? And one time I was unsuccessful because I went back in the same bank. That's how. In my mind, I was like, man, yeah, I can go ahead and do this. But what spurred me to keep going, I told you my father in the nursing home, when I robbed the first bank, it's all types of addiction. I was addicted to it, adrenaline, when I came back from Iraq. I like some shit. Damn, I feel good. You feel bad, I feel good. And it was like, man, I planned that, and I went and I executed, and I happened to get lucky, and I got $600-700. That ain't a whole lot, but I'm looking at all them 20s. I said, oh shit.
It's long. Hey, I need more.
Right about this time, I need about $600-700.
And guess what happened, man? The next week, my father died. The next week, my father died. And when my father died, the first thing went in my mind was remember your actions and impact others. I never thought about nobody's actions when I was doing what I was doing. That was one. When he died, I thought about that. I felt a little guilty. Man, in my grieving process, then took me, Mr. Jack Daniels say, man, go on back out there and hit that ass again, okay? That's what the basement do. Go hit that ass again.
Drink serious, man.
Number one. It's still number one.
Tell that shit
still
serious.
It takes
serious.
It kills you.
That liquor curves, boy.
Yeah, but so now everything I did, I do sober. Okay, now everything I do is sober. I went by myself, cause that's how I get down in what I did. So now, those situations occurred. The last bank I robbed was in Anne Arundel County, and I got away, but I got my first die pack. And I seen it. I seen her switch her hand up when she put it in there. I started to leave, but I say, nah, I done went that too far.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I still got away, and I still kept some of the money, but where I had my car at was in a garage. And of course, witnesses say, in the garage. They looked in the surveillance thing. They couldn't see my face, but they saw my shirt. I wasn't able, because of the dye pack, I wasn't able to take my shit off like what I was going to do. And it wasn't no dye pack. It didn't get on me. It was one of them slow jumps. So I didn't even know. So I'm in the car. I had to roll the window down, and my arm was out. I rolled out. who car I was in. Man, you think I got other license plates? Cause my mind. So when you going through certain things, sometimes somebody say, man, why you ain't do that? Man,
you ain't think about that.
It was your best thinking at the moment. Exactly. Then when you look back, you're like, God, the fuck, dumbass shit was on.
Exactly, man. So when that happened, they came and got me. And man, that time, that last year, I got back to coaching. I was coaching in Roosevelt High School. Rob Nichols pulled me on there, man. My man, one of my, I say, young men I seen come up through the years. I ain't gonna say protege and nothing like that. He's highly distinguished, but that's my guy. But when I got arrested, it was like, I was like, damn. And it went like this. School started back. My daughter was going in the house. She called me on the cell phone. It was raining. She said, it's two white men on the porch. I asked them what they want. And they said they looking for me. And I said, okay, but tell them I'm on my way. And they like, oh, don't hang up. When I'm getting on the phone, I say, you looking for me, whatever, I'm on my way home. I'll be there about 15, 20 minutes. I ride, I get there. And the reason I'm telling this sequence, this I ain't put in the book. A lot of stuff I had to take out, but this right here I'm gonna get. So when I get home, I get to my house, it's two detectives there, one white, and then one was Hispanic, right? So, man, we good. And when I'm getting out the car, the Hispanic ran to me, and I just kind of hit him and just spin. You know, little leverage jump, one of them just pop. And I got him off of
running up on me.
I got him off.
Football trucks, get off him, man.
And this guy, from that point on, he had it in for him. They got me. He said, take his daughter. White guy, they take him out to Palmer Park, John Lead in PG County. Take him out to the Palmer Park, and they talking to me. And he was talking to me. I said, man, I ain't trying to talk to you. You know, because I'm trying to figure out, number one, why have I told you I'm on my way and I came to you
willingly?
Yeah. Why you think you gonna just rough me off like that, right? You know what I'm saying? I came back to you. And then number two, why you bring my daughter down?
For sure.
So that's all I'm on now. Why is my daughter down here? He's coming for me. So they take him out the room and bring him. That guy, he from Anne County. He say, man, I'm a veteran. He said, man, this how I got you. He said, see your shirt. Looked at all the other ones. I ain't even know they had task force out on this shit. They say, we seen how you was getting down. We just ain't never know how we was gonna end up catching. But that time, we got you. We looked at your driver's license. One day, I thought somebody was following me. I'm looking up like, damn, motherfucker's following me, right? And then the PG pulled me over. I'm like, what you pulled me over for? They took my picture. They said, man, this is how I'm going down, what's the joint in C Pleasant, man? I can't think of the street, man, with the little sugar cane. The little C Pleasant Drive. I guess that's it. In any event, he pulled me over there, took my picture, and I'm just like, this shit is strange, right? So he said, man, this is how we got you, woo, woo, man. He said, man, look. I said, man, I'm on my daughter out here. He said, I'll make sure your daughter get home. He said, look, you got anything in your home? He said, because they getting the warranty going out. I said, man, don't fuck my house up. Right? I said, go downstairs, look in this closet right here. You can find one shirt and a shoe and a pair of pants or something. You know, don't fuck my shit up. The guy, they did it. Call my wife. They ain't fucking up for nothing. So I'm like, okay, slim good. Okay, now I start this little journey of the guilt. Now I told you, since the 90s, man, I've been working in the community, and I'm feeling like, man, I spent many years of trying to avoid or try to encourage people or show them so they can make an example or make their own decision. If you do this, it's consequences for this shit, right? So you know, I always try to make the most positive and safe choice that you can make. not the daredevil shit. I ain't gonna never cheerlead you on, man. Go shoot up the block, son. Go shoot up the block. Nah, I ain't up in the man. You know what I'm saying?
We call putting the battery in people's back.
So, man, I'm feeling down. Man, I'm processing in, and when we spoke, man, Mr. Roberts, you all right? Mr. Roberts, coach, I'm looking around, man, I'm like, I'm feeling like this. That motherfuckers ain't even saying like, you bitch ass ain't hit nothing like that, man.
Yeah, since you are, yeah, for sure.
So I'm feeling a different kind of way, and then guess what? Then they put me all on the news, man.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
They put me on the news, man. So now I'm kind of really feeling bad now. I'm like, oh man, my family fucked up. People where I never thought they would do this and all this. So now I'm getting all
painting this evil picture of you.
Right, put it on the news, man. So now, so they put me on the Marshall block, went over to CTF. No, I bonded out that time. I went to PG. When I walked out the door, Anne Arundel County was waiting for me. Went to Anne Arundel County, got bonded out Anne Arundel County. I came home for 4 days for the feds came and ran up on me in the house.
For sure.
Right? But that was enough time for me to guess what? To go down DC public schools and resign. Right? Because
no, they were gonna get you out of this. They were gonna get fired. Yeah.
They would go down there and resign.
Sure.
I was able
Go
to
out
do
there
that.
for class.
I resigned. So that way they ain't messing no time.
Yeah, no question. Yeah. You
Time.
trying to retire and all that stuff.
I had
For
some
sure.
man. I've been working for 18 years.
For sure. So they were when it's time to retire. Yeah, for sure.
That's one of the first things I did when I came home, man. I rushed down into the building, man. Shame or no shame. Damn,
Sure.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
What's the name? They going back out.
There you go. Yeah.
Get my shit, man. Let me sign out. Let me sign out.
Yeah.
So I signed out. And when the feds came to get me, man, I guess that was like September the 2nd or something, man. And like that, man. And then that's when my journey started, man. And my journey ended up, like I'm saying, people speaking to me and all like that. So I pleaded guilty to, I accept responsibility for 3 banks, right? My sentencing guidelines for my age at that time was 47 years old. Was 51 months to 63 months. Right. First time offender, 51, 63.
Yep.
Okay. Now my junk get political now, right? Because guess what? People coming over there, newspapers, they want to come interview.
Sure.
Now it's starting to come out that, hey, the guy that robbed that bank, he worked in the community. He coached. He social work. He went down rap. All that shit was coming out, right? So now they want to talk. I had a public defender, and that was blessed. They did their own memorandum besides the pre-sentence report. They brought a doctor from Walter Reed, psychiatrist came, interviewed me.
Trying to see if something's wrong with you.
Yeah, well, no, I already, but here go the other thing too, when they said, I already was diagnosed with Ptsd. Right, when I came back home, but I was still trying to work, right? So I already was given that classification anyway, right? So as time went on while I'm in there, I go the first time for my sentencing hearing, postponed. Next time, I get shackled up, take them back upstairs, postponed, right? As for letters, I had about 70 letters, right? I had about 70 letters. Now, I didn't know how wicked that Greenbelt court was out there, right? I didn't know how wicked it was, right? And so, 70 letters, another sentencing report, talking about the impact Iraq had on me, decision making, where I was at, right? Judge Roger Titus, one of the toughest judges in federal court, Greenberg, Maryland. Before I went up the steps, man, one of my buddies, right, gave my man 20 years on a violation. God. Right? Gave my man 20 years on a violation. He came back downstairs, he told me what he got. He take me up. I'm like, man.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling like, oh, he going.
Yeah.
I'm a softball too. He getting ready to bust my head wide open.
Knock you on out the park. Oh, yeah.
Man, when I came out there, in the courtroom and I seen my family and friends, it was like I already was on a whole nother journey while I was waiting, right? But when I saw them, I was like, man, wow. I said, man, I was feeling one way when I seen all the people in there, and then come find out getting in that courtroom, they was saying, man, they ain't never had that many people coming in like that.
The support was just outstanding.
Man, you know that judge give me? He give me the 5 years. He give me 2 in and 3 out.
3 probation.
Supervised release.
Right.
Right. He say, and you better not do nothing else coming down in court. PG cop I was telling you about. Get the prosecutor's attention. Prosecutor them say, hey, he got a warrant for 2 armed robberies in PG County. I heard about him. My lawyer showed it to me. I couldn't. She was good, man. I went off on her. I ain't do this, blah, blah, blah. She like, I'm working on this case right here, Mr. Roberts. Calm down, right? Calm down. Don't worry about it. I'm like, what you mean don't worry about it? But it came up in court. So when that came up in court, right, the judge, so that made my little censoring go more, because now it's like, what the fuck is you bringing this up for? And you had time, and then the judge even say, y'all knew where he was at. Y'all ain't questioning him, you ain't coming.
Yeah, that's like some sabotage and shit.
And this what I said.
Some sabotage and shit right there.
So they blunted that, and so I had 24 months to be in. I pretty much did a year over CTF. So I was like, all right, I'm good, right? So I ain't got, I calculated that up and went downstairs. When I went downstairs, told my man, another thing blew my mind. This man was, man, that's right, Rob, Shine. I'm like, and I'm feeling for him, right? And I'm like, and you happy for me? I don't know if I would have responded that same way. I might have told you, okay, you got it, man, go in and shut the fuck up.
I ain't trying to hear all that, but I'm 20 years in my head, like, I ain't trying to hear about that, man. Get on somewhere.
But that says a lot about a person's heart. You know, because not everybody think that.
Yes.
For sure.
And guess
That's
what?
a fact.
And I met some real men when I was in. Say that. So now, I told you that part about that. So now, I go to feds. Before I went up to Baltimore Supermax for 15 days. Before cause same thing. They shoved me there. Now the judge, they wanted me to go to Butler. So I was supposed to get some treatment. Yeah. The marshals told me at Greenbelt when I went back down, before we went back, they was like, man, what he said up there, that shit ain't happening. They gonna send you where they want to send your ass, right? Because they was like, man, they was like, man, this man cracks everybody in the head, man.
For sure,
They said, man, we gonna shuffle the deck when you gonna get the training effect, right? I said, yeah, all right, I'm talking shit about, you know, man. So I go where I went at. I went up FCI school kid, and lo and behold, I couldn't put all that. I still ain't gonna get names like that. I'm gonna respect people, man. But guess what, man? I had 2 former players, about 3 youngins that was in my male mentoring program and played basketball, right? I knew a couple of other men, and I go on the compound. They motherfuckers is saying, "Hey, Mr. Roberts."
Mr. Roberts.
Hey, Mr. Roberts. You got gangsters and killers looking for this little nigga from DC. Like, I got some power. I ain't got no power. You know, they trick me. Sports always has been an avenue for me. I played in the 40. By that time, now I'm 48. Yeah, I was 47 when they arrested me. I turned 48 in October. So I was 49. I'm playing in a 40 and over league up there, right? They like, Rob, look at Rob. I said, man, come on up there, I'm still get down. They like, oh, you just coach, play football? All right, watch, man. I did my little thing, bullshit, went out there and played, man. Had the most assists and the most steals. My team ain't won a goddamn game, right? They put a trade on win for me and play with the homies. Now, when I got all that going on again, man, guess what they do, man? They put me to coach the damn homie team. And they ain't asked my permission again, man. One of my deals, man. I looked at him, how the hell you gonna put me down? He laughed, he said, man, cause you can handle it. And man, shit, I took the B. I coached the A League and the B Leagues. When I left my name on the wall, I always talk to them. When I leave, motherfucker, my name on the wall. Champ, we feel a little champ when we left out that motherfucker. You know, Coach Rob said, hey, the rest of y'all motherfuckers saying, you probably ain't had your name on the board. I mean, motherfucker, you probably ain't never got it on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Your name on the wall for something, man. You can't fall for anything. So I'm doing my little shit, man, and that's how I did my time, man. Some guys, they knew I ain't have a whole lot of time, man. They was like, man, you a good dude, man. I can't fuck with you. Yeah, they was like, man, I can't. They said, man, you making my heart hurt, right? And one, I will say his name, and shout out to Eric Hicks, man. Free Eric Hicks, man. Hope that man get back home.
Friend, man.
Yeah, good man. Man, I'm up FCI school kid, right? And he got me in the library. They wanted me to do GED. I couldn't do the GED because I said, man, it's going to be a fight up here. Somebody going to kill me, man, because I can't understand. You still don't want to learn?
No question.
So they just made me a library orderly, and that's when I started typing the book.
Man.
I was about to get into that.
That's when I started typing the book. Actually,
because they got typewriters.
And actually, that's when I started. However, the seed was planted in 07 in the therapy thing I was with. And it wasn't like a journal, but it was like tell your story, right? So, and that made me, and then they was like, man, you should write your book, and you know. And I always say, yeah, and you know how you busy right now, you got your grind? That's how I was then. I couldn't concentrate and write that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was doing too much.
Let me ask you this, how long did it take you to write that book?
Well, this gonna sound crazy. I started 07. I got incarcerated 2010. 2011 is when I'm actually really writing it, right? So that was four years when I actually started 27. 2019 is when I actually published the book.
And look, and talk about to the process. This I ain't gonna lie to you. You got it like we talked about off camera. You really have to be focused, like that discipline, because it takes time to just sit down and just focus on writing a book. It takes a lot of work, you know what I'm saying? So you got to put that work in. So talk about that process.
So the reason it took a while was because when I returned home from prison, right? So I came home as a soldier, and then I came home as a returned citizen. So I was determined this time not to have repeat the same mistakes my transition when I came home in the military, which I was open to receive some treatment, right? And then also in my little journey, I got introduced to AA, because when I really broke it down, I say, none of this shit probably wouldn't have happened if I wasn't drinking the way I was drinking. You know what I'm saying?
You was coping properly.
And I was not coping the right way, right? I was self-medicated, which a lot of people in the community do. You go through what you go through, right?
For sure.
And so when I came home, man, I had to face. So back to we talking about why I couldn't concentrate and do it. Yeah. When I came back home, PG County was still waiting for this thing. Do you know they took me to trial?
That's crazy, man.
I had to pay for a paid lawyer. I was sitting up Marlboro. I was like, man, I'm gonna do the public defender thing again, man. They called me in for a visit. So I had a legal visit. I go in there, motherfucker tell me, you might as well just cop it 5, and you just come from the feds. You know, for us, man, you gonna do about 2.5, 3, you be back home. I'm looking at it.
Hell no, I just did 2 years.
Hey, just visit over here. What you talking about,
I just did 2 years, man.
A lot of them work with the motherfucking
public defenders.
And guess what? I said, man, when I left out of that bank, man, get me the hell out of here. Man, I normally don't play the phones like that, man. Once I make my couple of calls, you can go ahead with the phone. But when I need to make a phone call, you know, I expect to get up in there, man. Okay. In any event, man, I called my daughter, man, told my mother, man, you gotta get paid lawyer this time. So, because these motherfuckers crazy. They talking about 30 years. Shit, I ain't caught. Goddamn thing I ain't do, right? So this was on the back end. So I had that, and also I had a divorce. Wife sending them papers in right before I was getting out. Right? Even though, you know, I was getting ready to come back home, but that's how that went,
for
right?
sure, for sure.
But the paperwork was in, I got that when I was in prison. I'm looking at this, fuck I can do. Now, guess what? I say this for those that can handle this and make sure they do it. I got some paperwork. I can't be in court, but I gotta respond. I don't have it format, but I got the best way I can, and I got their address, and I sent that shit in the court, right? Okay, now, like I say, I went to Upper Marlboro. I stayed out there damn near 2 months, you might say, right? I get out right before the divorce hearing. I go in there, she got a lawyer, cause if I ain't show that day, it was a wrap, right? And the man say, my turn. I say, I try to respond to you. He said, oh yeah, we see this, but it's not the right format. He said, where was you at? I said, I was incarcerated. I said, so therefore, I can have it. The man, look, he said, you know what, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to rewrite this, right? You got 5 days to rewrite the jump. That saved me. And what it saved me was, we end up selling all that shit. My kids was older. We end up having to sell in the house, but I tried to keep the house.
No question.
Right, but I just say this, end up selling the house. If I went there today, I don't know if I would have got anything or not. You understand what I'm saying? So the focus went there. I started back writing actually when I had a relapse on alcohol, right? I got my shit together, man. It took me 2 years. My first job was cleaning the bus. PG County, the bus. Yeah, I'm cleaning the bus, right? Yeah. And as I'm going, I was having fun with it, but I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, damn.
What the hell am I doing cleaning the bus?
Yeah, it's cold out there, man. We work at 1 o'clock. We get up there at about 7, we have to late night. Right. So it's a humbling experience, but now these are pitfalls that hurt people when they come home. We don't work for the bus. A veteran program sent me out there. When we got finished cleaning the bus, the little supervisor we had, he was like, y'all can go. But they had to punch in and punch out. Do you know the supervisor for the mechanics kept clocking to see when I'm leaving? All the money he making, all in the world.
He worried about you.
And this when I knew, I say, man, the therapy is working, because I started to come on out here. I took him on out here on the side on this bus, getting away from that camera.
Why you keep watching me, man? What's up with you, man? You know
what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk to him. I ain't one of men of many words. I ain't no big motherfucker, man. I'm gonna get down. I ain't got no punch. You can say, oh, this sucker punch me.
I'm telling you, hey, you gotta hit him.
Yeah, because, so what I'm saying is, guess what I said? I say, this ain't gonna go well with me and him. And if I respond that way, what do I get out of it? I say it to say, because now it's a little calm. I'm in treatment. I'm thinking before I act. I had some consequences that I dealt with, right? Ain't no more pity game. Ain't no pity party. Why me? Why am I? Guess what I did? I resigned, man. I left the motherfucking job, right? I left the job. And as I left the job, I went to, what's the, down here on U Street. I forget.
Reed Center?
Yeah, what's the name of the program, man? Go over there, Northeast. And when an event was a Return to Citizen program, went down there.
Project Empowerment.
Project Empowerment, that's it. There you go. So I'm getting ready to go to Project Empowerment. Yeah. But before my day was, I sent some resumes and shit out, right? Yeah. Man, when I went, the lady Project Empowerment didn't have my name. Good thing I went early. I was like number 10. She was like, your name on here, sir, you can't come in. Another pitfall. See what I'm saying? I ain't cussing people out. I'm seeing some people that was in when I was in out there. Hey, well, man, all right, man, I'm going back on the subway, go home. Shit ain't work out for me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm mad. I'm like, man, I'm going back to Reed Center and get this lady my peace of mind that you don't know how to execute and do your job. For sure. Man, when I got there, she wasn't there. I was so mad. I'm walking home, man. I'm walking up 14th Street. I get a phone call from Pathways to House. Say, man, come on in for an interview. Again, So now I'm like, damn, this self-control shit, I'm relearning new shit at an old age, right? I'm saying this self-control thing is alright. Cause if I would went off down there, I probably wouldn't even got this call.
Sure.
Cause I probably could have got locked up.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Cause the little guys that work, they got jobs and stuff too, but you know, they probably, well, I'm gonna talk, hey, sir, you know, we gonna clash, cause don't put your hands on me, don't try to do none of that shit. So I know me, I would have crashed.
No question.
And guess what? I get that phone call. I was home for only 2012, 2013, 2015, I had that job.
So,
Right?
yeah.
I worked 2 years, and it was getting a little hectic for me working with the homeless, right?
Yeah.
And it was good, fulfilling, but at that time, my counselors and them say, you need to start working on you. You're putting too much stress on yourself, right?
Yes.
And then I returned back to drinking, right? I was like the dog who returned to the vomit, right? That was me. I got remarried, man, and everything.
Yeah.
Life is good. Man, I end up grieving. Not handling some shit the right way. Grieving on tour.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that.
Grieving on
yeah,
tour.
for sure. Go ahead and talk about it.
Crash my jump.
Yeah.
Well, argue with somebody right here on 11th before we get to Harvard. We turn on Harvard. We go on to Harvard, past the gas station, but he stopped. The light was yellow. He stopped. Man, I'm drunk, man. Motherfucker, keep going. You know, right? The light changed. He don't move. I'm like, what the fuck? We missed that rotation. So then the next light came. I'm looking now. I'm like, he's trying to get out the car. I ain't gonna jump out the car because I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, for
you
sure,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So now I'm drunk, but I ain't no fool. I ain't come out of the car. I gotta do something.
I'm telling you.
So he pulled off. When the light turned green, man, I went past him, and going up Harvard Street, and a car was coming out. I say, they trying to trap me. I went to some Iraq shit. They trying to trap me. The car had a little bit in. I rammed this car. Bang! Kept going.
Oh,
Hit the alley right before you get to George Avenue. You hit the alley, you're going to be on Hobart Street.
Yep.
Man, I go down Hobart Street. You know Hobart Street. Tight
Tight,
shit,
so
man.
tight, man. Tight,
Man,
man.
I ran a tat about 2 cars and landed on a motorcycle. Airbag went out.
Oh, man.
Slim still follow me, man. I get out before I get out the car, call my wife. Hey, I had an accident. You know, Slim looking at me. I'm like, all right, I'm getting off the phone now. Police happen to be around. He like, man, you know what you did? I don't like that, man. I'm looking at him. I'm looking at my car now, right? I'm looking at myself. I'm like, I'm all right. I'm gonna fuck him up.
Yeah.
Police come. Hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Man, you want to blow? No. I ain't blowing shit, man. God, they talking shit. They take me there in 3rd district. Man, and that's when everything hit me back again. I say, now, how I just go through all this shit? I was off papers. I was off supervised release and everything. Now, had I been on supervised release,
We would punish you.
Judge Roger Titus say I was gonna give him them 3 years. Regardless. Man, I say, man, here we go again with the drinking. Long story short, I went in the program up to VA. That's when I really got to push the finish, because then my mother's health started failing. So the focus came back in when I got back sober. I can't drink alcohol. I can't drink.
So you've been
And
down.
I haven't had alcohol in 5 years.
You gotta commend
Bless
them
him,
on
man.
that one.
Bless him. That's a big blessing, man.
And I could be around or whatever, but your uncle, man, tears help me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But I'm just saying,
Yes, sir.
you don't never know when different people say things to you or how they live their life.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? And I say, man, I ain't got to do this no more like that,
No
man.
question.
You know.
Yes, sir.
So I had to find my own little skill set, what I had to do. So,
So With all that being said, man, you touched about Troy Robinson. Y'all got the same last name, right? You
No,
know what I'm saying?
Robert.
Oh, Robertson.
With black people in the 70s, I was a Robinson.
For sure. Daniel Robinson, Troy Robinson.
Yeah.
So
what?
Still in the 2020s, you can't understand.
Let me ask you this though, man. Like, how was your relationship with him? And you said his death affected you. You know, as you said, the accident and whatnot. But like, what did he mean to you on a personal level?
On a personal level, he was my teammate, brother.
Yes, sir.
Right? So now, I knew Troy before I went to Wilson, right? They played with Ontario Lakers. And kids played too, man. Baseball.
Shout out Uncle Reggie, right?
Yeah, they played, man. But anyway, I get up Wilson when we get on the football team, we play, man. We just took it to another level. So if you know Troy, you know they had alphabets. We was on one road, and he said, "Can't nobody else come on this road."
Yeah, be brutal.
So I'm looking at him like, "Yeah, what, man?" He said, "Man, can't nobody else come on this road, right?" And you know, a couple people come. I tell him, it used to be funny. I say, "Hey, man, can't come back here, man. It's a social, scientific experiment, and I'm here to watch this train orangutan, right?" He be like, "Oh, you little bucket face bitch." Then he going to my body, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I couldn't stay back there if I couldn't take one of his punches. That's what he told me, right? So I hit him back. You know, after that, man, so that little, starting from there, and then it just mushroomed from there. We were just friends, right? So one thing about Troy that drew us, he was smart, man. He liked to read. See, we both like to read. We used to like to read, right? So we always read different books, and because I went on and finished up in college, now I'm at Virginia Staff freshman. He down in Virginia Union. Some Union dudes came down. Trouble Funk was playing down there, right? And I wasn't in my room. Spike was running around. He came and found out where I laid at in the room. As soon as I see him, "You scared? You scared? I know you scared. You trying to figure out come down here and see, man." I said, "Man, I'm never scared." So we do our normal shit, man. We do everybody, man. We came in, man. We had a good time, and that's that's. And then, man, we traveled, we did stuff. You know what I did. So that was the other different thing with me coming up, right? Yeah. I had a lot of friends that sold drugs. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't said drugs. I ain't never say nothing about what they doing. I ain't never hit them with the black man. You're destroying the community. None of that shit. You know, I can't be with you. You know what I'm saying? we was friends because I was indulgent myself. You know what I'm saying? I was indulgent. So Troy, friend, we like books. We did a lot together throughout 20s, and for him, his change in his life is when Malik was born, right? And then I saw him, you know, that's why I always wear short shit.
Yeah,
I always wear short shit, man.
Get you one.
Yeah, but you know, so our relationship just grew as men. You see what I'm saying? He saw me how I raised mine. Now my older two didn't get what my twins got because I was in my 20s.
For sure.
Right?
For sure.
But I gave him what I had in all four of them, right? So he always respected that, and we just always kicked it, man. We just had a good brotherhood. We debate, fuss, fight. You already know. Right there on the porch, man.
Right on the Troy would debate all day, man.
Yeah, he's a great debater, man.
Yeah, for sure.
We'd had a lot to talk about Trump.
Picked that up right there from him.
Yeah,
man. What did it?
We could have had a lot to debate about.
For sure.
So, but the loss came because when I came back home, when I came back home from prison, right? The point he was in his life where he was at, it was like, blah, both of y'all got time. We together. I started going to bingo with his Bama butt. You know what I'm saying? I say, "Marvin, I got him this time. I go a couple times." And we just, talk for fellowship. And where Herman, one time he was at GW, I went down there and I brought him home. I'm like, man, he never, and this is Troy. And this bring me back to this, what we do, how we take care of ourselves. when we was playing football, it wasn't nothing for Troy to drink 2 of them gallons of that fruit punch juice, man. And he won't share. You know what I'm saying? See, Troy used to chase me around Wilson, man. I was like a little dog or something. I fuck with him and run, and he was fast. That was our action. We fuck with each other. That's what we used to do, man. But I say all to say, this man never told me how sick he was until I was up in that hospital one time, and I seen him. I was like, man, what's up? And he was like, man, my kidney fucked up, blah blah blah. Right? And I was like, okay. And I was like, man, with me, I'm always, man. You gonna fight it. Let's try to do what we gotta do, right?
For sure.
And
time continue to march.
Exactly. That's what I do, man. And then to kind of see him go down, that impacted me, man. And then it impacted him because he outgoing guy and he got stuck in one spot.
And that stuff just
you
put
know
him
what
down
I'm saying?
like that, man.
You know what I'm saying? And so it meant a lot to me, man. And it just was funny. Cause my grandson, one of my grandsons was born the same day he was born. August the 10th.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Facts.
And when he passed, man, it just hit me in little different ways. You know, a lot of funny stuff, man. I got great memories. You know what I'm saying? So he was like a brother to me. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You know, and I miss him. You know, and I try to be supportive and encourage his kids just on the strength. Just how I am.
Rest in peace, Troy, man.
Miss
Miss you daily, man. Miss you. So listening to your story, man, like, do you have any regrets? 'Cause I know they say in the good word, don't live your life with regrets. But do you have any regrets, man?
Nah, 'cause I walk now. Everything that happened that I try to plan, sometimes everything that happened that I try to plan, sometimes don't go through, and some things that I plan end up being a blessing.
For sure.
Right? So I don't have no regrets because this journey that I'm on, I'm trying to be in tune to the right spirit. So regretting, I can't regret nothing because what you say, as long as you wake up, you put 10 toes on the ground. It's for you, man.
Hey.
It's a win.
You know that, man. It's a win. There you go. Hey, yo, tell you.
So I don't regret nothing.
Continue to march, man.
I don't regret nothing. There's some things that I feel bad about.
For sure.
Right? But I don't regret nothing because guess what? I wouldn't be sitting here
telling you, made you
with
who you are
two
today.
down like
Exactly.
On the real, I'm telling
That's
you.
why you can't really have no regrets because you
I'm
wouldn't be where you need to be at.
I'm telling you, man.
You know, now you're gonna go through some heartaches and pain.
That's it. That's life.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
yeah.
life.
But nah, I ain't gonna never second guess and say, well, I wish I did that. You know, now I used to do that. High school would say, cause my last year in high school, they wanted me to transfer to Roosevelt, right? And Roosevelt ended up winning the city championship '79, right? But I stayed up Wilson. I stayed low again with my teacher and my father, and he was like, man, well, you was with them now, but you think they gonna win, so you gonna jump on their team? That's for the LeBron folks, man. I come from that era. I come from that era. And these my guys that I grew up with.
Your guys,
you know, I say, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and stay up there. You know what I'm saying? And you know, so you know, different principles and morals and stuff, man. You know, I was blessed. I got instilled a lot of integrity, personal courage, honor, selfless service.
Yes, sir.
I had all that before I went to the army.
It
Saying it was already in me.
Yeah,
So you know now, so he could not have any regrets. So now I do all this. They finally go ahead and 100% me all the way out, which was military blessing, and I'm retired. So okay, so that pressure of having to work, you know. But what I was doing, I was driving. First, I started Uber. I drove Uber, and guess what? I worked a year. You know, Uber said, you don't pass the background check. I worked 1 year, man.
I passed the background check for a year.
Then my man, then old Ron Dale told me, man, do DoorDash. I did DoorDash. I was doing that fine, and then my mother took ill 28 18, right? I came up there to the house. I had to kick the door in. She was in the bathroom. She fell down, couldn't get up. But I already seen the signs of the dementia and all the other stuff. Right? So when they went in the hospital, that put a same journey into the nursing home situation. And then this is where I'm blessed. I'm blessed now at the right time, where I'm supposed to be right now. I got a wonderful, beautiful, understanding wife. Right? I say, I can't let my mother stay in this nursing home, right? I'm gonna move back in with her. And I'm gonna get the services during the day, and I'll be there at night. And I've been there for 4 years.
Sure.
Right? When I had to get stuff, what really made me come in there, I'm thinking she paying the bills, she handling everything. Man, we getting ready to lose the house. Right? So I had to be guardian. Back going down to court, represent yourself, knowing how to write and read, right?
Definitely.
Okay?
Definitely.
I was equipped and ready for that, because guess what they told me when I went there and filed the paperwork? Oh, we got to put somebody over your mother's money. I said, how you going to do that? Because you got a felony.
That's my mother.
I'm the only child. I'm the only child. All that shit. Fuck you mean? So I had to talk proper.
Right.
And explain to this judge that I'm the only child. I don't know what this person. And they came up. Somebody came and interviewed her, and somebody came and interviewed me, right? And then they went on to change. You know, like, oh no, Mr. Robinson, like, yeah, but fuck, I was handling this shit, man. You getting ready to disrupt it. That's what you getting ready to do. So, but I was ready to handle it at that time, right?
For sure.
I didn't crash. I ain't cuss them out. I was able to listen. I was able to follow through. I was mad. I learned who to vent to, who was safe people to talk to, who not safe for me to talk to. Like you say, to put the barrier pack. I don't need no pity party. That's fucked up. Why they say all that shit, man? Like, that'd take me a level. I fuck some shit up.
Yeah, of course.
And then I would regret, because now guess what I got in the back of my mind now? I can't cut up now, because who gonna be there for my mother?
Facts.
And that's my greatest fear when I was incarcerated. Please, Lord, don't let nothing happen to my mother. Because guess what? They ain't gonna let me go back and see her.
For sure.
They ain't gonna let you out like go see your mom.
Yeah. None of that was going on. So man, if one thing that I can impart out the journey, I just say every man is gonna walk their own path. They're gonna learn their life lessons. Sometimes you're being told the lessons and you can't hear it, right? And then sometimes you can halfway hear it and you can negotiate yourself and go where you gotta go. Okay, but now while you're going where you gotta go, now the female part come into play, the money part come into play. Now how you gonna manage that? And I hear you talk, you be, and that's what I'm saying. You hitting it very well. I hope young people listen, because I'm saying you can't straddle the fence on that. If you want girls, you want money, and you ain't got no job, the new way that they trying to disrupt young black people now is with the marijuana. And the marijuana is good, but guess what? For certain jobs and for certain companies, that shit is illegal. And you will not be high. And you might can do the job better than them. But that's the rule that it is. Okay? Now, with all these guns, violence, it's been gun violence. Okay? But the way they getting ready to do now, when they start switching these laws up, it's going to be the black and brown just riding around, and y'all have been locked up a couple times, and they find that gun in that car. They're gonna smack you. They're gonna smack you up like you're gonna be sitting on the tee, the little hitting tee. Put him on the hitting tee. Wow.
Line him up.
But
you know the funny thing is they changing them laws not for the black and brown. There's that.
Well, just take this situation. I know we ain't. I love talking, y'all. I ain't gonna talk too long, but guess what? Just take a situation with the man that shot in Highland Park. Okay? And man, if you ain't know, I was a social worker, right?
Yeah.
So now look, his family called and say he got a lot of knives and he's threatening us. The police come. Y'all got him? Okay, we're gonna take the knives. The family called, say this man tried to suicide, tried to kill himself. Police come. They say, y'all got him? We got him. They look on his social media page, he been talking about killing and doing all kind of shit, right? I say all that to say is this. He fell through the cracks, but the way he fell through the cracks, just imagine when it happened to us in the community that I saw. It don't go down that way. Okay? You can get in some of them places and get on that medication and it flip you on out. Police could respond and come there and shoot your ass.
For sure.
Your family dynamics go down. You call the police on me. All kind of stuff, and then we walk in praise. His father signed off for him to get the guns. He was 18, 19 when he first got his first Jones in Chicago. His father signed off for him to get high-power rifles. So I say all that to say is this. They showing you right in your face that this is a problem to go with everybody, but how the system deal with him and how they deal with us.
I already know.
That's
right?
what I was about to get.
Right. And ironically, they showed the young man that got shot, driving all accounts, good guy. Police say he fired. He jumped out the car. They shoot the man 60 times. All this chase was off of a traffic jam. He got shot 60 times, right? And so now, I'm forget about the race part. To me, how are they trained? Now, I've been a former trainer, and I'm here to tell you, that's fucked up. If I got a call, and they say, man, we got some problems back out here at the depot, first a couple of Iraqis, man, they arguing and fussing, right? And I come out there, they don't have no weapons. It's about 2 or 3 of them, and they stop. Okay, we can squash that. But if I come out there, it's 15 or 20 of them, we're gonna have a problem. Your ass going off the base. I'm gonna call the quick response team. We're gonna get your ass out of here. We don't know who you plotting on.
No question.
That fucked up shit I had to go. It was 26 of us and 323 Iraq. You understand? Okay, so I'm purring off my break, because they can overthrow your ass.
No time for mistakes, man.
So I say all that to say is this, man. The Real Podcast brings good information, realness, right, and uniqueness, and you can see the intelligence.
For sure.
So it's a lot of positive people in our community,
for sure,
right? So I hope y'all get behind this, and I hope that you listen and don't hear. I want you to listen. I don't want you to hear what I'm saying. I want you to listen and think. And then as time go on, you might be having a bowel movement, and then you can sit and say, I thought about that. Many times, though, you be somewhere else, I ain't getting you with that, but that's my famous junk, though, man. Because when you sit down in that halfback stance, you get to think about all kind of shit sometimes, right? But look at the rules and the laws. Just look at the gentrification. We need to encourage everybody. Education ain't the only way.
For sure.
Right? But you gotta have a skill. Right now, I can thankfully say for the young men in my family, both of my sons are working. One work up Coolidge, coach. The other one drive the subway in Metro. Right? My grandsons, the oldest 2, the only 2, with 3, with 4 now. But in any event, the ones is old. One working, he working on his plumbing trade, and he can do building maintenance, and the other one is in college.
For sure.
On scholarship.
For sure.
Right?
Shout out.
So sometimes used to be embarrassed to say that accomplishments, right? And that's how I was used to be, like all the things that I have. So that really spurred me on the book, because I say, guess what? I want to tell my story.
For sure.
Because people perceive or say, man, Damon, this and that, man, let me share with you.
You hear from the horse's mouth.
Right. So I ain't making no fiction. kept it non-fiction, and if you read the book, it's a quick book. I took out so much.
Oh,
I
definitely.
probably talk more here on
Hey,
the real
hey,
podcast than
listen,
get on the
I'm
book.
gonna say this,
That's
man.
the exclusive.
I'm gonna say this, man. I'm happy that you did that because we didn't really have to do much. We just sat back and told your story. That's what the platform was all about. People
Yes,
come
sir.
on here and tell their story. Whatever you're doing in the community, whatever you're doing in your life, period, that you want to come and share. The real is the platform. Just like you said, two intelligent brothers that's coming together and they're trying to make change in our worlds and also in our community, because you always see the negative stuff, but we doing something positive and just support, because listen, we bringing nothing but the real. That's all we bringing is the real. And everybody that come on here that's a guest of ours, they are real, man. So it was just a pleasure for me to have you with us today, man. Hey, man, hey, one time before we go, hey, I did do that.
Yeah.
Hey,
What's up, man?
matter of time and continue to do what?
March.
Yeah.
Matter of time, continue to march.
Let's get it. Let's get it. The real.
All the time. Yes, sir.
If you're not on the field, you're not real.
There you go.
Bang.